Look, we all go through our trauma in life. We all battle through our personal baggage. We all go through our stuff. Every one of us, we got our skeletons in the closet. A lot of us do. We all have something in our life that we are trying to overcome, that we're battling, that we're fighting. And a lot of the people in life do not understand, what we're going through and what we're dealing with. And that's why it's very important to understand one another and to empathize with other people and what they're going through in their struggles. When it comes to mental health, when it comes down to mental health, I can relate to people with those problems. When it comes to depression, anxiety, etc., I know what that's like because I fought those battles every day when I was younger. I know what it's like to have those intrusive thoughts eating you alive. That voice telling you things that's very discouraging to your spirit, right? I've been down that road before, and I've done my best to overcome. I've done my best to fight those battles because best believe depression, anxiety was kicking my ass every day. It felt like I was never going to get through, this depression, this anxiety. I didn't want to hear no solutions, neither. I didn't want to solve my own problems, I didn't care to, and based off the trauma that I went through as a child and a young teenager, I did not see much of a way out. I didn't really see better days ahead. I failed to, because I was so focused on the pain. I was so focused on the hurt and the trauma that I thought to myself, there is no way I'm getting past this. Because everything I've been through in my life, I had to go through it alone. I fought a lot of my battles alone. Didn't have no support. Didn't have nobody on my team like that. Didn't have people talking to me, checking up on me. During a time where I really needed the support. And the support wasn't there. And dare I say, because I know this word is very sensitive to a lot of people, right? This word is very sensitive because nobody likes to be called a victim, right? Nobody likes to be called a victim. Nobody likes to be accused of being a victim. But let me tell you guys this, man. Let me tell you guys something. I have to say this because we cannot be stuck in our hurt and in our trauma. We have to learn how to overcome. As God's chosen ones, we have to learn how to overcome the enemy's attacks. And by playing victim, now let me just get this out the way. You can have your season of being a victim. What do I mean by that? Season of victim. Season of victimhood. You have your time period to be sad, to be angry, depressed, grieving, dealing with sadness, whatever, heartbreak, whatever it is. You have your time period to go through these things and to shut yourself off from the world, right? Isolate yourself and whatnot. You have that season to just only consider yourself and your own feelings, right? Because when you're going through it, such as a heartbreak or a loss in the family, right? Or something tragic happened to you when you were a child or, recently, right? You have that time period, man. However long that takes, however long that season is, to be a victim, right? Because I believe at some point in our life that we are all a victim of something. We are all a victim of something in life that happened to us. And our immediate reaction is to jump and say, I'm the victim. I'm the victim here. I'm being victimized. Right? It's nobody else. It's not my fault. It's that person's fault that did this to me. It ain't my fault this happened to me. We all love to jump to that reaction because it's the safe way. It's safe. And at times, what happens to us isn't always our fault. What happens to us sometimes is not our fault. But I have to say that how we go about things, how we choose to react to things, how we respond to things, that's completely in our control, 100%. That is in our control, 100%. See, we can't always control what life is going to bring us next. We don't know what life is going to bring us. We don't know what problems are going to occur today or tomorrow. We don't know that. Life is very uncertain. But what's for certain is you having the control over what happens to you and how you react to things that happen to you. You understand? You are in control of how you respond and what you do next to improve yourself, to improve your situation. Because we cannot play victim forever. We can have our season of victimhood. I had my season of victimhood. In my life, I've been fatherless. That was my source of victimhood, was that I had no father growing up. I had no male influence. I was robbed of a dad in my life. And so I used that to play victim, and amongst other things. A lot of people's source of victim playing could be, trauma, that R word I'm not going to mention, molestation from a family member or whoever, right? Loss of a parent, friend did them dirty, betrayed them, your girl broke up with you, cheated on you, and your heart's broken, right? We can all use those things, as a way to play the victim and blame the other person. But it comes down to a point, guys, that we need to take full accountability for what happens to us in our own life. We need to take full accountability to what happens in life, right? We need to learn how to control our own actions, what we say, what we do, how we treat people, etc. We cannot sit around and just point the finger every damn day. Oh, it's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. All these excuses, all these pointing the fingers at this person and that person. But that's not going to get you nowhere. It's not going to help you get to the next level. It ain't going to help you it's not going to help you solve any of your problems. You don't solve your problems in life by just playing the victim and pointing the finger at people, because that's the easiest thing to do. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to play victim about everything that you've been through, right? But I'm here to tell you guys that, listen, some things are just our fault, right? Some things are just our fault and it's our problem. But we never want to hear that. We never want to hear that truth, that it's our fault sometimes, right? You see, who we choose to hang out with in life, and we know these people that we hang out with, they do not match our energy. They are not going where we are going. They are not good for our life. They do not help us in any way. They don't add to our life in any way. They bring nothing to our table, but yet we still continue to entertain these people. We don't already know what their habits are. We already know that they're going nowhere in life, right? They're like crabs in a bucket, right? You know how these people move, and you've seen it. You know what type of people these people are and what they're all about, but you continue to entertain them and still be around them. You have to hold yourself responsible for what happens to you. If you're hanging out with someone that you know steals and robs, that's a thief, don't get mad when the robber steals from you, when the thief takes away your personal belongings, when you already knew that person was a thief, okay? You already knew this. You already knew this already. That person was a thief, but you let that person in your life anyway. You let that person inside your house. Now they stole your money, they stole your clothes, jewelry, whatever. Your phone, wallet, you left it hanging when you weren't in the room. You left it in there with them and they took it and left. You can't blame that person for doing that. You have to look at yourself and hold yourself accountable for, why did I let this person in my life knowing that he was a robber, he was a thief, and he steals a lot. He has a history, a track record of doing these things, right? Some of y'all know people's track record in life, and you have no incentive to check that person or to cut that person off, knowing that they will do harm to you because you know their track record, you know what they're capable of doing, right? You know what these people are about. You know what these people are about. So you can't get mad when they do you wrong. It's your fault for allowing that person in your life in the first place.